Okay, so now we're going to jump into concepts of print. So concepts of print comes before phonics and after phonological awareness. In phonological awareness, children live in the world of sounds. Up to the age of about preschool, children's world is about sounds. They learn language through sounds. They watch TV, they hear sounds. They mimic the reading of story, but it's really just mimicking the sounds. They've already developed a concept that letters do carry meaning. And that's when you see a little child draws a picture and they scribble scrabble on the bottom. And they're like, look, mommy, or look, daddy, I wrote my name. That's understanding that print, something written on a paper, can carry meaning. But now we're going to officially name what that meaning is for the child and teach them how to create that print. Okay, so concepts of print are all the activities that start to build awareness that printed letters carry meaning. So when you walk into a classroom, typically a really early age classroom, anything from preschool, kindergarten, first, we see a little bit of it in second, third, and fourth. You see this type of classroom. I know that when I went to kindergarten, the first thing our teacher made us do was walk in and find which cubby had our name. And so she would give us this little paper, like a little piece of paper that had my name written down, Maite. And I had to take that little paper and match it to the letters that were in my cubby so I can hang up my things. I didn't necessarily know that that's what my name was. I didn't know how to create the M, the A, the I, the T, the E, but I knew that I can match those letters to letters that were in my cubby, and now that became my cubby. That was the very first activity on making that connections that letters carry meaning, and that eventually letters become words that carry meaning. It's super important for a very young elementary school class to have all these elements here because it's exposing the child to those letters. The idea of all this environment, all these letters and all these numbers and all these words is called a print rich environment. And classrooms should promote that print carries meaning by creating classrooms that associate things with letters and words. Again, we're not expecting them to form these letters yet. You know, they're little babies, kindergarten. Some come in developed, where they know how to write some letters, but some don't. So we think of it, they're all at the same level. Within concepts of print, we have two major areas. And the two major areas of concepts of print are book handling skills. And after book handling skills, then we have concepts of letters. Book handling skills then becomes directionality. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then concepts of letters later become concepts of words. Again, we're in a world right now, we're not expecting a child to read the words. We're not even expecting a child to write the words, but we are expecting that the child starts making the association with letters, words, are in books, and how to read them. All right. The first part is book handling skills. And this is one of my favorite. I think one of my the cutest things I love to see young children doing. They pick up a book independently. They pick up a book, they go to a little corner, whether in the house or in the classroom, and they start reading. And they're saying words, then they're flipping the book. It's the most adorable thing. When you look closer, the child isn't even holding the book right. It's upside down. They're going from right to left to right, but the idea that we handle books in a specific way there. And this is where a teacher models it, usually during a read aloud, right? Everybody sits in the rug. Today we're going to read, what is the name of it? Little Red Riding Hood, sorry. And the teacher holds the book right in front of her and shows the title. This is the cover page, shows the ream. This is the ream. This is what holds the book together, shows the back of the book. This is the back of the book, and quickly opens the book and says, these are the pages. That is teaching the different parts of a book. And you might think, if you teach upper grades, oh my gosh, does it become that simple? I'm like, it really does. Because you have to understand, children understand there's such thing as books, but don't still have not learned the proper handling of a book. So, book handling is the understanding of how books work. There's a front, there's a side, there's a back, there's pages inside, and it includes knowing how we hold books and how we turn pages. In the English language, we take the page in the corner, middle, and the top. The point is, it starts on the right hand side and we flip towards the left hand side. And then it becomes tricky because now we read from left to right from top to bottom. So if you could visualize that very quickly, we open the book right to left, but we read left to right. And that brings us into the world of directionality. And directionality is understanding that in the English language, we read and write from top to bottom and left to right. So first a child learns how to open a book, and now a child needs to learn that we read and write from top to bottom, from left to right. And one of the methods that we use that is super important, even in upper elementary school, is the idea of tracking. And tracking is using a tool to train the student's eye to hold on to a single word or line in the text. For many of us adults that are reading, it's super easy just to use our eyes to track, but we learned it by using our fingers to track each letter and each word. um I know that with some of my younger kids, and even my older kids who are in the SPED program who have some difficulty with that eye training, you use a special tool, a ruler, a piece of paper where you block out all the other lines and you just focus on that one line and they shift as they go down. So these are very important tools in early elementary for the child to use in order to develop directionality. So now we have concepts of letter. Once we have book handling, we have directionality. Now we go into the ideas of letters. And yes, kids know that there's such thing as letters. Like that's basic. The thing is that they don't know how to really create the letters yet. They don't know the sound, necessarily know the sound of all the letters or all the rules for the different sounds of one letter. That's in phonics. But we have to now teach them what it looks like and how to create it. So concepts of letters is the knowledge of the name of each letter, the order of the alphabet, and the recognition of upper and lowercase letters, and knowing the difference between letters and words. So I'm going to break that down. First of all, it's knowing the names of each letter. It's super easy for kids to recognize A, B, C, D. But once you start getting you notice that the kids start having difficulty when you start getting into the R's and the X and the W and the V and the Z, the ones that you don't repeat as much, or in the little song it goes quick. They also need to know that there is such thing as upper and lowercase letters. When you are doing step testing, right? Especially in the very young age, the kid has to recognize the letter. This is just right here, making sure that they fully understand concepts of print and letter recognition. And then this is where you introduce writing, and you're not teaching children to write so that they can start writing long sentences at this age. You are teaching children how to write in order to form the letters that will later lead to the ability to write words, write sentences, write paragraphs. But it all starts with the recognition and formation of uppercase and lowercase letters. So again, writing is the formation of uppercase and lowercase letters. Remember, we right here are at a very young age. We're not expecting them to write complete words, but we are expecting them to start to develop the ability to correctly form these letters. All right, now that we have book handling skills and directionality, and they have the understanding that their individual letters in our language, we are now developing something called concepts of words. And so concepts of word is the ability to understand that each word is separate. So you have a group of letters that make one word, and that word is separate. That individual words in a sentence are separated by a space, and that spoken word matches a written word. So if you look at this little picture right here, we have a teacher and a very young child. And if you notice, the teacher has made circles or asked the student to make circles around individual words. If you've ever seen really young children, even in the first grade, writing sentences, that space between the words is something really difficult. One of the skills that teachers teach children is to put a double finger space. So they would write a word, put two fingers, and then go on to the next word. That's spacing of words, because they need to understand that each word is separated by the space inside of sentence. So again, this is a hierarchy. First, we learn how to handle a book. We're not talking about, oh, we're going to read sentences. No, how do you actually look at a book, read a book, handle a book to make sure that when they're able to read, it makes sense? Directionality, tracking, using their fingers or using a ruler or a piece of paper, because we read from top to bottom, from left to right. Then we have concepts of letter. Well, the capital A looks this way, and the lowercase a looks this way, and the capital P looks this way. It looks very similar to lowercase p, but it goes under the dotted line. I forgot what that is called. And then we have the idea that a collection of these of these letters make up a word that does match something that we say, like a spoken word, right? But when they're together, and for example, the word apple is written apple, is supposed to be written together, separate from the the, apple, apple, is good, good, period. There must be a separation. And finally, every single word that we write has a verbal, a spoken word that matches. And when we start giving that that concept a print, the sound of it, then we go into phonics. All of these things together, knowing about the letters and how they are arranged, and knowing everything about sentences, how words are in sentences, are all the alphabetical principle. So let's go ahead and read. A preschool child, great. Preschool child, I'm not expecting them to read novels. I'm not expecting them to read words. I'm not even expecting them to like identify letters. I am expecting for them to have an idea that letters and books are things that we read and have letters and words in them. A preschool child picks up an unfamiliar book, opens it up, points to the text, and begins to pretend read the story. These behaviors suggest that a child most likely has well-developed book handling skills. Well, think about it. Does a preschooler actually going to know how to handle a book? Most likely, when you see a preschooler, and this is 4 to 4 years old, they're sitting with the book, and unless they haven't seen the book a lot, remember this is an unfamiliar book, chances are the book is upside down. And just all over the place, right? So I'm not exactly sure if they have well developed book skills. So we'll go ahead and X that out. Knowing where individual words begin and end. Now, if we understand the spectrum of this concepts of print, remember that in concepts of print, the first thing we have is book handling skills. And within book handling skills, we have directionality. And then we have concepts of letters, and then concepts of words, right? So book handling skills would be the first one. The second one would be concepts. Sorry, I don't know where that E came from. It would be concepts of words. And that is at the highest level. Has developed the understanding that print carries meaning or understands the concept of print directionality. So I'm going to go ahead with C because a preschool child is understanding that when they open up a book, they have an understanding that these pictures and these letters carry meaning. They don't know how to read it. They don't even know how to hold the book right, but they know that something in there has words. Absolutely. The child's behavior to pretend to read when pointed to the text or printed option of the book indicates an understanding that print and text represents meaningful language. All right, let's do the next one. A kindergarten teacher. So here we go. It's a little bit up a level. So the difference between a kindergarten teacher and a preschool teacher is I'm expecting kindergarten to know a little bit more, especially depending the the age range and the time of the year. So a kindergarten teacher hangs labels on key objects in the classroom, puts a poster indicating words and captions, and always has a big book on display for children to use. This kind of classroom environment is most likely to help promote a children's what? So, hmm, let me think about my different levels. We have book handling, we have directionality, we have concepts of letters, and concepts of words. And so if she is hanging up labels on objects and putting up posters that include words and have a big book to display uh so the big book word, which is these really big books that have big words in them for the children to use. We're living somewhere in the world of concepts of words. We're a little bit past the concepts of letters because there's no mention of the A B C D E F G's. There more there's more indication that they're words and captions, so full words and caption. Let's go. Recognition that words are composed of separate sounds. Okay, so here we're in the world of sounds. And we know that sounds is phonological and phonemic awareness. Phonological awareness and phonemic awareness, right? They do this sometimes in the test because they try to throw something that would absolutely make sense, but we're kind of past that level already. A recognition of high frequency sight words. Well, first of all, we haven't even mentioned the word sight words. And just to build some schema for you, when we talk about sight words, we're actually in phonics. So we haven't even talked about phonics yet. This is a higher level of understanding. They will do this. They will put something that is super simple or something very, very high, and you have to determine what is it that we're talking about right now, and we're talking about concepts of print. And remember when I said they usually go in the same order in the test. Notice that question 15 comes right after phonological and phonemic awareness, which is concepts of print, uh, uh, which is the area of concepts of print. Development of automaticity in word recognition. That's a magic maybe because maybe the teacher is trying to help them develop like, oh, this word means book, this word means table, this word, that could be a magic maybe. Development of an awareness of print. Again, we live in the world of concepts of print. We are talking about a kindergarten class and a teacher. The goal for the teachers is to have the student understand that everything has a name. The part of the I'm going to pick D, and the part why I'm going to pick D is this specific sentence here. The teacher hangs labels on key objects. The development and the awareness that there's print. Perfect. Print and awareness composes of developing understanding that print concepts and the writing system and understanding the relationship between oral language and print language and the familiarity with ways that literal adults interact and make use of printed material and writing things. What the teacher did was to label a desk means that is the word desk. This is a desk. This is the way we say desk. Let's do one more. A preschool teacher is reading a story to the class. So already picture it. You have a teacher in front in a chair. You have all the little kids sitting down on the rug because it's story time. As she reads, she holds the book so the children can see the words and pictures while her finger follows the line of print. This activity will contribute to a child's reading development primarily by. So in our spectrum, we have book handling, which includes directionality. And then we have concepts of letters and concepts of words. And I heard two things that supports that where this question is in this world. Book handling, how she holds a book, and directionality, her herself using tracking to follow the line of print. So let's see what it's primarily promoting. Promoting the development of letter recognition skills. So letter recognition skills is concepts of letter. Helping with recognizing phonemes that occur frequently in print. So this is where it's testing you. Phonemes falls within the world of phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. So this is too simple. This is way too simple. And actually, the teachers are already showing print. And remember, when I was doing phonological phonemic awareness of you, the minute I saw print, print is another way of saying letters, and no thank you, no ma'am. So this is phonological awareness. Developing their awareness of left to right directionality, where here we have one that's directionality. Yes, magic maybe. Promoting their understanding of letter sound correspondence. So, sound correspondence, and start to understand this, letter sound correspondence is phonics. It's phonics. So, this is above a level. So, the answer is C, directionality. The putting the finger that follows the print line. And here we had already identified that this is living in the world of directionality. So just like in phonemic awareness, I had levels also here to remember these and put them on the side will help you break down these questions. And there it is. It is C. By following the line of point with the finger while reading, the teacher provides the students with visual demonstration that print is read from left to right. All right. So that was concepts of print, nice and short. Remember, first we have book handling skills. We have book handling skills, and within book handling skills, we have directionality. Then we go from directionality to learning the concepts of letters, learning what the A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs look like, uppercase, lowercase, and the beginning of writing for the formation of letters. And once we know how to form letter, group of letters makes words. Now that a child knows the sound of phonemes and understands what letters look like, they're 100% ready for phonics.